So I only just learned about this Larry Ellison guy from Double Down News, right? I have seen this Whitney Webb before, and I've seen quite a lot of her videos, but I haven't actually heard her talk about this Larry Ellison or anyone else talk about this Larry Ellison, because it's usually been BlackRock Vanguard and Larry Fink and all these other people, but now, and actually, I've just been shown this Whitney Webb video because I was actually listening to another video, Larry Ellison, so the algorithms probably picked that up. Now, Double Down News have actually done a proper investigation into, Tony Blair and this Larry Ellison and all their contacts, right? But in that Double Down News video, the investigator girl didn't mention that this Larry Ellison guy used to work for the CIA, right? Now, Whitney Webb is saying in this video here now, which I've just seen after the Double Down News video, that he actually was working for the CIA. So this is actually getting concerning now, because apparently this Larry Ellison guy is one of the richest guys in the world, like Elon Musk. But he worked previously in the CIA. Now, if that's the case, this is what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was talking about, the military-industrial complex and, breaking up the CIA into loads of pieces, right? Well, it turns out that if this Larry Ellison guy worked at the CIA, if Whitney Webb's correct, and if he's been, meeting with Blair, and these are the people who are behind all these systems, Aladdin and Oracle, and wanting to have governments when you run the world, it seems like that is the military-industrial complex, this Larry Ellison, because he's CIA, right? And then this ties into the police and the military, and then when you're trying to do action against the police when the police are acting unlawfully, like with things like illegal road signage or illegally prosecuting protesters, but, they seem to be applying and interpreting the law incorrectly and suppressing a lot of political opposition to the main parties and the things that they're wanting to do, and it all gets illegally suppressed by the police. Now, this is a problem. Is Sir Ken McCallum in with this Larry Ellison guy and Tony Blair and this whole industrial military complex or not? Because it seems like Brian Leveson, who's in charge of investigatory powers, is wanting to get rid of the juries, and he actually has supposedly done an independent review, right? Now, if Brian Leveson's in control of investigatory powers, and he previously was a judge, Lord Leveson, and he helps the police and CPS by giving them powers out, aiding aside, but they're wanting to scrap the juries, how can he be independent? And surely someone in charge of investigatory powers, which, also is in and around MI5 and governments working with each other, like, you've got, the American FBI working with the British police, then the guy who's doing the independent review of where we should scrap juries is actually in charge of investigatory powers, and he's connected to all these, CIA and MI5 security services, and they're wanting to get rid of our juries. And the worst thing now is that Tony Blair comes up with this statement specifically in connection with, this Larry Ellison, right? They're talking together, Tony Blair and this Larry Ellison, about Oracle and about the future of governments, right? And then Tony Blair does this statement. In fact, it might be a separate statement, but still, she includes this statement in her evidence that Tony Blair's like, oh, I'm doing this for humanity. We're doing this for humanity. We're doing it for humanity. But this is the thing. Tony Blair's just been complaining to Keir Starmer that Keir Starmer's not been doing what he's meant to do. And Tony Blair's going to be tinkering around with the policies. Keir Starmer has called off local elections, right? But yet Tony Blair says that, he and Starmer and Larry Ellison, they're doing it for humanity. But if you're doing it for humanity, that's the people. But yet, Starmer's calling the elections off so the people can't vote. But, so, if you, like, the British Isles, England, right, Great Britain, who, right, who is humanity, right? When we're talking about humanity, right, particularly in Great Britain, who is that? Is that like the voters, like the people who make up the country, not the elite? Because, by the way, Ellison's not a citizen in England, so if Ellison was in England saying that citizens should behave, he's not talking about himself because he's not a British citizen, right? They are calling the elections off so humanity can't vote while they do their plan. But they say they're doing it for humanity. But Starmer's calling his plans off. Starmer's calling the elections off so we can implement this plan and get it through when people don't want it. But then it's all, we're doing it for humanity, not doing it for me and Larry Ellison and the elite, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I'll play this Whitney Webb. I think it's on your short clip.
And through the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a lot was made to facilitate that by laying off a lot of government workers, basically replacing them with AI algorithms. And those algorithms are, of course, patented and controlled by Silicon Valley companies. And the vast majority of major Silicon Valley companies double as either intelligence or military contractors or both, or have for a very long time. And a lot of the biggest companies in Silicon Valley arguably started because of national security involvement. One that's often overlooked a lot is Oracle, Larry Ellison's Oracle. And Larry Ellison, before creating Oracle, worked on Project Oracle at the CIA and then created Oracle.
Right. So Whitney Webb is saying that Larry Ellison worked on Project Oracle at CIA. So I don't know whether she's saying he is CIA or he worked at the CIA or was CIA or not. But I guess we can search to find out. Hold on a second. Right, so this is what it says. It says Larry Ellison did not work as an employee for the CIA. Instead, his first company, Software Development Laboratories, received a contract from the CIA to build a database program. Key details of the project. Ellison worked with co-founders Bob Miner and Ed Oates, worked on a project for the U.S. Intelligence Agency in the late 1970s. The CIA-funded project was codenamed Oracle. This project was for building a relational database management system based on a research paper from IBM. The company later renamed itself Oracle Systems Corporation after this flagship product for its first major customer. But now he's one of the richest guys in the world. How's he done that? And how he's, he apparently, because Bill Gates has given a lot of his money away, just part of this working with the CIA and Oracle Systems involve using intelligences to find out how other people are making money and study how they're making money, and then so you can make more money than them, right, and beat them and become the richest in the world. And obviously Bill Gates gave a lot of his money away to charity, supposedly, so although he's still trying to buy all the land on the planet Earth. And I don't know where Elon Musk come from in all this with Tesla. He's apparently lost loads of money on Twitter or X, but supposedly it's rebounded now. But I don't know really how, because I haven't used X because X is terrible since Elon Musk took over it. It's the worst platform. I mean, I don't go on there because you just can't use it. It's not like something you can just go on there and it's not user friendly. So he didn't work as a CIA agent, but if he's worked building systems for them and under contract, though, I guess.